You're famous. 3 people waiting. Oh boy. What's that? Who's that? Relina. Okay, so we got my little mini-me here. All 5 viewers. You speak up whenever you want. Say feel free to contribute if you feel like it. All right. All right. So how's everybody doing? This is, I don't know. I'm not gonna comment too much on what this live stream is going to be because I didn't plan on doing it until about 0.2 of a second ago. So uploads, videos are queued up. It's just that they are taking a while to load. Basically, I have 4 videos coming. I have 1 loaded, 3 more that are sitting in queue waiting to go, but they're all 30 minutes long. So with my Stone Age style internet connection, they're taking forever to load. So if you want to play with that, play with this. There you go. Ta-da! Hi. How's everybody doing? There's another baby. Feel free to take her if you want.
I'm busy still.
So, child number 2. Brittany, are you carrying our other child?
No.
Okay, well, funny story. I was asked if you were.
What?
After last night's little excursion.
Why?
No, I'm just saying after last night, everybody was like, well, maybe.
Why is it every time a female gets sick, you think they're pregnant?
I know. Imagine being the guy married to you.
Imagine being the woman who every time I'm a little sick, I'm pregnant.
I know.
Oh my god.
Oh. Mwah. Oh well, another one like this wouldn't bother me. What?
I said if that's the case, we'll have 20,000 kids by now.
Oh, we'd be at least by now. We'd be around a dozen. So, and here we're ignoring everybody again. So let's see. Yeah, everybody's in a good mood. Believe it or not. The reason being is, we're done with tillage. We're done with harvest. We're done moving grain. All that's left to do is put in hydrous down, which I've made that phone call. Sort cattle. We have to check our bred cows, see if they're bred. We have to haul manure. So honestly, when it comes to hauling manure, I'm actually looking for cold weather and the ground to be froze, because if the ground's froze, I don't feel so bad about driving across our chiseled ground. Yeah, she agrees. How soon will we be seeing videos on the new coon tillage? I don't know how far back my brother is. I do have a video with me running it, but I don't really sit and talk about it too much. How farms work is where you have to go for those videos, which for everything that Ryan has done with it, I think those videos actually will be pretty neat. So, I think so. I think she prefers Baby Yoda though, hon. And I don't know, as far as social media goes, I've been kind of like away from it. Not like I'm avoiding it, it's just that I'm just bored with it. Not bored with you guys or you, my viewers. I'm just bored with viewing Instagram or Facebook because it's boring. I mean, it's not like I don't like posting stuff on Instagram or anything like that, but it's just lives exist off of social media, and I'd much rather pay more attention to that life. What do you guys plan on buying in the future? I actually have a video, one of the upcoming videos where I'm kind of BSing with you guys in the tractor, because that's all my videos are. I don't have any action-y videos of me voicing over anything coming up. Everything that you're going to be seeing here in the next 4 videos that will hopefully be coming up here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even address Bryce Mars Gala. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Bryce. As of lately, I've been saying Merry Thanksgiving because literally Christmas has started for some people since the day after Halloween. It absolutely annoys the crap out of me. I absolutely hate it. I do talk about purchases and potential purchases and stuff like that in the upcoming videos. Um, Largely, like another bale wagon. I mean, I can pick up a brand new John B.M. manufacturing or John B. manufacturing wagon, like similar to mine, but on steroids. Like it's a double framed and everything. For like four grand, 5 grand. That's a quick, simple purchase that I would like to pick up just to be able to move more hay because I am probably 200 bales would get me in the area of how short I am on hay this year. I'm actually making some all right money as of late on the hay that I am moving, but the hay that I should have had off first cut, I mean, I'm easily under. I easily lost 10 grand in the hay that I wasn't able to make this year. So the 76 is definitely holding its own. Actually, haven't had any issues with it since the chair, the seat blew up on it. And the only issue, that I've been having with it is the seat now. The airbag, I obviously don't have the airbag connected properly, where it does have a slow air leak if it sits for long periods of time. It's still connected to the Rhino 4155, which is the first video that you guys will see. I mean, so for 2 weeks now, the 76 hasn't been unhooked from that, but they're calling for some cold, potentially freezing weather, and I do have just a little bit of grass cutting that I want to do some hedging and stuff like that on my hay ground, just to kind of cut back any trees and shrubs that I didn't get, and then that'll be cleaned up and taken off. And believe it or not, looking forward to more of a not a super long, super miserable, but just some time to recharge. The last 3 or 4 years, it seems like it's been just one task after the other. Even winter doesn't seem like it lasts for very long lately, and I'm okay with being able to take a breather. The 76 was not bought new, but it was as close to new as I was ever going to see it. It was actually from the St. Paul, Minnesota airport. It was actually, it spent the majority of its life on a brush cutter, wing mower.
I need to turn the light on.
Okay, everybody be prepared to be blinded.
Some of us can't work in the dark.
Well, that's what flashlights are for. Yeah. When could help you live 2 hours away from you? I am a really good tractor driver. Don't worry, I'm not looking for more help to do field work. I'm actually raising my own, actually. Slurry tank, no. When it comes to livestock and anything when it comes to raising animals, it's pretty much looking more and more like basic. We are going to go with just basic. A simple pole shed on each of the farms would be a nice upgrade. Nothing fancy, nothing that's going to require TMR or anything like that. I'm perfectly content with round bales and round bale feeders and throwing some grain to my steers and giving them a round bale. I don't need to do super heavy management on my cattle and on my calves. Believe it or not, I'm actually looking at more along the lines of minimalistic. Cattle actually seem to perform better that way than getting carried away, almost over managing them. I mean, let them out in the pasture when the grass is green, and we're letting them actually chew the fields down right now, and they're doing really well. I had just put a bale in tonight, and I only have 4 that actually really cared about it. But I gotta get the cows in, the calves weaned off, and we'll be going that route. Yeah, I did shave. The person that was threatening to shave me in my sleep is the one working in the background there. So, and I was getting kind of tired of it. But it isn't until you work all fall having that facial hair with it being 10, 20, 30 degrees out with the wind chills, and then finding out that you shave it, how much that hair was really protecting your face. Honey. Bah!
Honey.
What?
That's a heater too.
Why is it in here?
Well, because it's an air purifier and a heater.
I don't need it.
I want the air purified. Okay.
Why?
Because that's just.
You saying I stink?
No, I. Just
I have an
want
aroma?
The dirt out of the air.
Well, quit dragging it in then.
I think that's you. Because
I
I just
don't.
vacuumed this floor
I am
slowly.
absolutely sanitized when I come into the house. Are you satisfied with the results of the crappy year? Okay, Chad. I think that was Chad. Chad D. Are you satisfied with the results of this crappy year? Actually, I am. I made money. Not really sure where I'm at financially yet, but the numbers at the bottom of the balance sheet are black and not red, so very grateful for that. As far as anybody wondering if I'm going to go buy equipment or buy this or that, not looking like it's going to be this year. I'm going to address some debt that I created this year because I picked up the Valley Farm, so like the repairs for the rake and that sprayer. I carried some debt on those to get those up and running and purchasing them. But once I get done with that, I'm actually not sitting that bad as far as my balance sheet goes. And if I can have another year like next year similar to this year, I'll be sitting pretty awesome. What'd you drop? See, she's got the doll, but she wants the doll's hat. That's what she wants to play with. I'm looking at next year is looking to be a better year than this year. As far as looking for another skid steer, it's all over the board. It's really going to depend on what I need at any given time. The haying equipment needs to be updated to a certain degree. The harvest equipment needs to be updated to a certain degree. We did go look at a combine casually yesterday, and you could tell it had some issues. Then we kind of heard through the grapevine it needed $50,000 worth of work just to get it field ready. So, I mean, you're talking not quite the cost that they were asking for that machine just in repairs yet. Big squares to stack better. The reason I don't do big squares is because of help, logistics, and the fact that in southwest Wisconsin, I did not make any hay this year. If everything goes in the ground, it's just going to stay there, honey. I did not make any hay this year that I did not have the rain basically on the horizon. I actually finished some round baling in the rain, and big squares do not handle moisture. They don't. My buddy, you guys know my buddy Ryan, my friend Ryan. I have a brother Ryan, but my friend Ryan, he actually forgot, missed, lost, whatever, a big square in the field when he was picking his hay up for 2 weeks after the fact, and he says when he went back out to get it, he says it was softer than a marshmallow. So my problem is that I wouldn't be able to get them in. Round bales at least shed hay. Big squares, they collect it. So they're big sponges. Chisel plow is still in one piece. Didn't cut it into two pieces yet. Oh man, do I got a video for you. The chisel plow broke multiple times. I only ran it for one day, the last day that we ran it. And you guys can actually see what happened in the back of you can see it in the video that I got, that it fell apart. If I would have had a torch with me, I'd have totally taken a torch to it. But Dad had some issues with it, which is pretty normal. I mean, we broke a shank, or a shank, which is common, especially in the rocks, but I'll let you guys watch the video. You guys can see what it is. It's nothing that hasn't happened before, but granted, not quite as catastrophic. At least I was able to keep chiseling. You guys can kind of sit and guess. Would I buy the Coon mower? I don't know. The reason I say that is because you're talking to an individual who didn't have any experience running the Coon mower. Now, if I had to go buy a mower, this is not me patting Coon's back because it is what it is. This is my opinion. I would go buy a John Deere 956 Moco. That's what I would have my eyes on with an impeller. I don't have any experience running the coon, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to go buy a coon. Ryan, he was pricing them. He actually was asking what it would be to buy it. More beans or corn next year? Any new ground? I can answer that question right now. Myself, I'll have more beans, less corn, because I'm in a 50-50 rotation. So this year, everything that was corn is going to be beans. Everything that was beans is going to be corn. No new ground as of yet. I had a couple people contact me because I do have an ad out there. But nobody that's really entirely certain if they want to commit yet. They just want to kind of quizzing to see, how serious I'd be in running it. And I don't know. I'm not looking to pick up 400 or 500, 600 acres. I'm looking to pick up 100 acres. I'd rather stair step it as far as growing rather than taking the elevator all the way up. That's a pretty steep curve. If we did something like that, I'd have to seriously look into hiring. Well, probably my neighbor. I'd have, ask him if I couldn't hire him to run over a bunch of it with his 12-row combine and just knock out a lot of corn in a very short amount of time. Mwah. She's absolutely adorable. Is it time to go to the farm toy store again? You guys want to go to the farm toy store again? Actually, I have the card here somewhere. The antiques store. Ethan was over here, and we sent Ethan over there. Good to see you in the video again. Glad the weather allowed you to get a bunch of extra work in this year. The weather allowed to get in all the work this year, so I'm happy for that. I'm very happy for that.
See, we can't have 2 children. You dropped one already.
Just the one I didn't like. Yep, Dad has favorites. As far as going into next spring, not having to worry about when we're going to get our primary tillage done, and how much time we're going to have before planting to do so, is a big it's a big stressor off my shoulders. Everything is chiseled. We are chiseled plus. We got ground that we weren't planning on doing that with that coon land saver. We hit all of our soybean stubble with that. That thing worked awesome. That thing found compaction. I was really surprised the 82 pulled it as well as it did. I think it was the operator more so than the machine, because I was running about 10 inches down, about 10th gear, 6-7 miles an hour with it, and I was pulling it all right. So saw an article the other day talking about soybean prices. Hey, Mom, you want to come get her? She's getting a little fussy. Prices being pretty high by recent standards. Were you able to take advantage of that? I was able to take advantage of the better soybean prices. Yes, I sold all of my beans went for an average of right at $10 cash. I started selling at 9:30, and I actually was selling into the rally. It did get up to, what is it, like 10.50 or something like that cash. I don't have anything sold for that. Next spring, I'm already putting a marketing plan together. That's what I was actually doing this morning with our bushels that we have to sell. Like my parents, I'm the one that markets my parents' grain for them. I'm just the one that takes the time to watch the market. Also for myself for next fall, looking at stair-stepping it probably every 20-25 cents, selling a percentage of my soybeans, and every 3 to 5 cents putting a target in. I do HTAs where I'm selling into the rally. I do not try to hit the top. I do not have a number in my mind where I'm going to try to sell it all. I would rather sell 1,000 bushels at a crack and sell into it and try to get a happy average. So that's how I go. Yeah, the black GMC is gone. That's been gone since March or April or wherever the heck that went. Really don't miss it. Did you guys try any funny pranks on Ryan when you were a kid? We used to have a Hop 66 that me and my sister used to terrorize him with. we used to get him hopping across the living room, and then when he was up in midair, we'd kick it out from under him, like kick it sideways, and he'd go flying and start crying, and then we'd get in trouble. Belgium, Europe. Where's that? 1 a.m. here now. Glad everything is okay. Keep up the good work and videos. Thanks. Videos are going to keep coming. I'm just not sure on the rate and how frequent I'm going to be able to keep them up, especially now that we are out of the busy season. And I can only post so many videos of the cows and talking about them and what we're doing with them. Planning on going to a bred cow sale the 19th of December, but it is way too soon right now to give any definitive answers as to whether or not I'm actually going to make it to that or not. So I got to figure out if and when or any of our cows are going to be getting called out. There's the baby. What?
You have to be so loud.
Yeah. Assert your dominance. Where we at here? Worst part of farming, watching the Americans trying to figure out when to sell. Not really. You get used to watching the trends and everything else like that. Aiming high and missing hurts much worse than aiming low and hitting. Yeah, problem is I'm one of those people that I did not sell anything throughout the summer. I actually went and did something very risky, and I didn't sell anything at all going into the winter, into harvest. And that only works once in a decade, maybe once every 2 decades, where the price actually rallied into harvest, because they were originally calling for $2 corn, $7 beans. This was probably the lowest the morale has been around here when it comes to planting. It's been in probably ever, just because it's hard to get excited putting the crops in the spring at a loss. That's what we were looking at with the prices we had available, and we got lucky. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but we did. There's a little bit of luck that goes into farming, and this year things came to light, and they had to finally admit that the supply isn't exactly as burdensome as everybody was trying to claim that it was, or some of the talking heads were claiming. Would you buy a higher horsepower tractor? I'll answer this question, but please, 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 guys, try to avoid asking me what my favorite tractors are or questions like that, because those questions just do become repetitive. So let's try to stick to the meat and potatoes when it comes to this live stream, because I don't know when I'm going to do another one. So the biggest tractor, a bigger tractor, absolutely. The 82 is already underpowered. It needs an eco-tune. Another thing that I address in one of my upcoming videos, they're longer. I have 3 20 to 30 minute videos coming out, so you guys have those to look forward to if you like to sit and listen to me talk. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope the cows are all well. The cows are doing all right. I actually have a few late season calves my dad's herd that shouldn't exist. What do you think about an 8-speed power shift and the 4840? No interest. Farmers are the ultimate gamblers. You're absolutely right. I didn't do any hunting this year. I didn't take the gun and the tractor with me. I didn't even register for hunting, because when deer season had opened and started is when we were doing pretty much all of our tillage. We got all of our chiseling done outside of the 70 acres Dad did. We started on Thursday and we got done Monday at 9:30 at night. 76 isn't going under the knife. I'm still paying for the repairs that it had this spring. The next thing it'll probably almost certainly have done to it is transmission work, but I was also told that it is able to run for a while yet, 2 to 3 years reasonably, before I got to worry about transmission work. In 2 or 3 years, that's fine. I'll be sitting fine. I'm not even sitting in a spot where I'm concerned about my finances right now. I mean, this was actually a pretty good year. So, your dad asking about a 9660 combine. Yep, Dad's been asking about different size combines other than the 9510, because we are sitting all right with the 9510, but we're also getting to the point where we are outgrowing it. It's hanging in there, but a bigger combine, it's going to happen eventually. Bigger tractors, bigger implements, between the cows. And the reason I'm actually into the cows, other than the plain and simple fact that I have that hay ground, um, any little lower quality hay that I don't want to move, my cows can at least make use of it. Maybe not the most, proper way to look at it when it comes to having cattle, but the cows will get some benefit from it as opposed to me taking it, dumping it in a ditch and lighting it on fire, which I won't do. I do have a bunch of hay that I sold that I didn't think was going to be worth anything. I almost didn't take it, and they ended up paying me the same as my good quality hay. So kind of scrambling my brain a little bit as to how that really works. But I also had some lower quality stuff than that I tried moving, and they really weren't all that crazy about it. So I do have the cows to feed it to. So I got about 82 bales to feed my herd of about 20 cows. So, and as far as my 15 feeder calves, they're not going to go through very much hay. Plus, they will be getting a grain supplement. Yeah, I am an uncle. I really haven't held her that much, but my sister did have a little girl. The model of our last combine was a John Deere 6620. Hey, you're fine. Little tornado. Who's Kirk? Everybody's talking about guys they know. I'm always going to be paying for things. Oh, as a farmer, you're never actually ever out of debt. I mean, you're always having to buy something, right? So, how do you pay for fuel on the farm? Oh, Dad has his own fuel tank, and Ryan and I have our own fuel tank. Our tank has a fuel meter on it. So when we go to between farms, whatever else like that, we do keep track of whose fuel we're burning and who pays for what. Hay shorts in New England. Sounds like hay short around here. I guess they're having a hard time getting guys to let it go. I think it's largely because they're saying that this winter's supposed to be pretty rough. I'm moving the hay that I got. I'm probably going to be pretty well moved out of it January or February. I'm okay with that. I also understand that when it comes to moving hay, it can also go the other way, where I could be taking a load of hay up, or 4 or 5 loads of hay, whatever I end up selling, and it could sit there for 3 weeks, and there's no interest in it. So I'd rather move it while you can, as opposed to being caught with my pants down. 17 and just bought a combine, changed all the belts, look for any broken welds, and look over all your bearings. Yeah, we do actually butcher a steer or heifer every once in a while to fill our own freezers up. Our meat tastes better than store-bought. Have you ever bought straw bales? Yeah, I actually buy them from a local guy. It's been 2 years since we bought them last, and we don't really go through them very much at all. They're small squares, just for random things. Yeah, you're right. What's Minnesota Oliver and Deer up to? How's it going, Dan? Are you guys happy about having a truck on the farm instead of hiring a contractor to haul your grain? If we did not have our own truck, or Ryan's truck, we would be SOL. Largely because trying to get a custom guy to come in and haul for us, like we did in the past, you don't realize how rough that is on a guy when you start running your own truck on your own schedule. Ryan was taking partial loads when necessary, when before you almost had to beg to get a custom guy to do it for you. So being able to work on our own schedule is huge. Ryan is the one that owns the truck and the trailer, the semi, and like I said, I would like him to get a nicer truck and a nicer trailer, and I'd be willing to throw some money towards it just so he had something a bit more reliable. I hate to hear that, Dan. I hope it's not like super duper bad. They feel like they can at least do something with it. Just say the last time we talked, it sounded like you were doing better. No, I didn't sell the sprayer. Maybe I should. The 3-point sprayer is nice to a certain degree, but I think a trailed one is probably safer. Pretty much. I won't start running the truck until I absolutely have to. Yes, we have everything chiseled to the point where if the chisel plow even gets hooked up next year, it's only going to be work in a little bit of ground for waterways. Otherwise, the field tillage is done. So can't do anything about it because it's too small. So at least it sounds like they caught it early on, right? I mean, it's not. I'm talking to Dan here. If it's small enough yet, that tells me that they caught it early on, or they at least have some kind of proactive plan for it, so they're not. I mean, at least they caught it. You guys keep asking me good questions. These are a lot of questions I've already pretty well answered on our upcoming videos. One is at 99%, but I got 2 more right behind it. But SLC Farms, hay equipment needed for next year. Not so much next year, but hay equipment I'd like to update and actually repurchase. Another disc bind, yes. The Rhino rake, that was actually something I'm looking. I'm actually looking at that Rhino rake. That is under contract from the last I understood, but the bigger rake. Otherwise, buying another one to complement the 4020. A newer baler. I don't know if I'd look at buying another baler to, running 2 balers. But just running, like even a 569, 568, just heavier chains, heavier built, heavier everything. Put the acid applicator onto it and go to town. That's an area where I was really let down this year. Was actually with the 7600. It's actually turned out where not having a backup tractor, something that I could also jump into and hook onto the baler or whatever else, cost me money. So it's becoming more and more evident that I really do. You guys have heard me say it plenty of times, but another 7600, 7810, 7800. I mean, let's face it. I can't pay $100,000 for a 7530 when I can spend 50-60,000 on a 100 or a 10 series. When the time comes, I'm ready to pull the trigger on buying another tractor. Who knows what I'll end up with. The cattle will be staying among probably all 3 farms. My steers and heifers are probably going to the home farm for certain. If I end up buying any bred cows, they'll be probably going to the home farm. I haven't decided with the bred cows that are down here. They're almost going to be going to the home farm. I'll probably calve them up at the home farm and do something I really effed up last year or this year. I didn't do is I need to be keeping track of the cows and the calves. So writing down tag numbers so that way as the cows are calving, I get 4 or 5 cows calved out, load them up and their calves, and then I'll take them down and dump them in the pasture. At least that way I can keep an eye on them when they're calving up there. I do like that. But we also did a bunch of work on the fence, the barnyard up at Rockville, so I hauled everything out. Next year, I'm leaning towards keeping something up at the home farm, so I just won't haul everything out. You guys are getting ahead of me here. Go green or go home. 6930 chip tuned, pole's nice. You can't get 6930s in the U.S. Don't buy a used 1086 International rolling shit. I would never do that. We used to have a 1586, and that was one of the most uncomfortable machines I've ever operated. So you don't have to worry about that. The 8235 is too big, too lonky. Um, it is, but the problem is the 82, when the 76 went down, the 82 was on that coon baler, so I had no backup tractor. I wasn't about to try to use the 4020 because we were using the 4020 to rake. What were we using the 4020 for? I wasn't about to attempt to pull that baler down across the bottom with the 4020. The 4640, we needed that for pulling the rhino rake, and I don't know, if it was an option, I would have done it. So, West Penny's been kept up to date since the test started 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I've been kind of away from YouTube. I didn't know any of that was going down. I'm sorry to hear that, Dan. Bins in our future, my future. Yeah, we need more bins. If we didn't have to haul everything to the river, we would have been done with harvest that much sooner yet. Being able to run all weekend or all week long, we probably would have been done with harvest in October this year. Even with the wind damage, we were done to harvest November 8th. I think sounds right. And that's with all the wind damage stuff. So, I'm wondering how far we would have really been, or how well we would have been off if we didn't have any wind damage, if we could have just ran. So, round bill straw done in the area. I know my buddy round bales a little bit of his straw, but it's just what's left over. It's not like he normally they big square it. No. Ryan runs like a bandit when he's in that semi. When it comes to having to harvest slower to account for the time it takes Ryan to get to the river and back, Ryan drives that truck like he's getting shot at. I mean, he does not fuck around. I mean, he gets down and back. Usually, I think the most we waited, if it wasn't a elevator issue, I think we waited maybe 15 minutes for Ryan to get back. So he's mastered the truck driving very, very well. So where are we at here? Did the manure mountain make a difference in field productivity? Well, Caleb, I actually wondered that myself. I haven't actually looked at the yield monitor because my dad harvested all that, and honestly, at the end of the day, I was just grateful that it was harvested. It had to have helped some. To think that it didn't help at all would just be absurd. Well, at least Dan, you're able to get out and get it in the field and work. I mean, at least it's with what you're dealing with. You're not bedridden. I'd rather live my life than sit at home feeling terrible. The old stave silo rebuilt yet? Ryan was gonna go and see if they put it back up, but haven't heard or seen anything. Have you ever baled soybean stubble? I talked about doing it this year, decided against it. The reason I didn't do any corn fodder or soybean fodder bedding bales is because if I did, it would be to sell, and the problem is the fodder market. Trying to make corn and soybean stubble bales to sell is a losing game, largely because everybody else has corn and soybean stubble. I try to stick with the hay. I try to watch my cost of production. Bugs me just a little bit realizing the unrealized profit by losing the hay that I did. But it's just making me readjust my plans for next year. Actually planning on dropping off, trying to make quite so many cuttings, and looking at just doing 2 cuttings down at the valley next year. Letting it get overripe, which heaven forbid, it's not going to make good quality feed. But I'm going to spread the dry fertilizer for the tonnage. try to make it July, which we had that freak storm this year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten burned there, and I would have been fine. But then go back through, spread everything with about 25 gallons of 32, and make it about September again. And then next year will probably, hopefully, be a photocopy of this year, where we're going from making the last of our hay to starting harvest. My grandpa picked corn back in the day. They didn't start combining corn, I think, until my dad started working for him. It wasn't actually a while until after Dad started working for him. So my dad's the one that typically ran the combine. Grandpa hardly ever ran the combine. We never used poultry litter. We don't have access to it. I know there's poultry barns in the area, but I'm sure there's enough people. There's enough people that are in line to get it. In case you don't do a live for another while, from Pat Kelly. Thank you, Pat. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna say you're definitely you're somebody that sticks out in my head when I go through the comments. And even though I don't like or love or heart all the comments, I do read all the comments in the comment section. So I do usually try to address comments in videos rather than replying to every comment. I had a stretch there while I was trying to reply to every comment, and if you guys can't tell, I got a life off the phone, or I don't want my daughter to grow up without me being able to watch. So solar farms going in, I don't know. I sure hope not. I don't comment all the time. Of course, I've been dealing with my other issues besides my neck. That's completely understandable, Dan. I'm gonna say your name, Minnesota Oliver and Deer. I mean, I recognize you from way back. So I always appreciate when you comment, and I sincerely hope that you can get through everything that you're dealing with. The heater in my house does work. Brittany just put the plug that in, and I actually just got home. I grabbed Berlina and
That heater's not running.
good.
It's just the air filter.
Okay, even better. You want to say hi to everybody? Hey, what's that?
Fruit.
You're fruity?
Yeah, you
What kind of fruit? What kind of fruit is it?
Pineapple. And others. Just eat it. With Rolena's fork.
The 4440 was stock, yeah. It still had the little factory line in the injection pump. Farming this year was different from previous few years. For the most part, the money at the end of the day actually turned out to be a fairly profitable year. Not just because of the Uncle Sam payments or check that we got. If you would have actually eliminated those, we would have still made good money. Fought the weather, making hay, yes. When it come to harvest, everything was dry. Soybeans were too dry. Corn, 15 to 17% corn out of the field. You had head shell, but I'll tell you what, I'll take dry 15, 16% corn out of the field rather than 22% corn that has less butt shell, but more cost in drying. The drying cost, okay. I sold corn last year and this year for the same price. Everybody say hi to Jim. Jim, how's it going? The corn that I sold, so the truckloads of corn that I had sold for the same price last year and the same price this year, there was, what was it, $2,200 last year for a load versus over $3,800 this year for a load. Huge difference when you're sending corn down the road. When you're selling $4 corn and the checks are coming back at $2,200, $2,400, that's a hell of a hit. It takes a lot of corn to add up to anything. So, fuel prices were great that year. That helps. Overhead costs, absolutely. How did you like the Ripper? I liked the Ripper. The 82, not so much. But it did pull it all right. A dryer for the farm. We got to probably switch up and revamp our whole grain bin setup overall. Um, Ours, it works for now. The stirrator setup and drying it and stirring it and cussing the stirrator and all that other crap. Um, Batch dryer or a continuous flow or something is going to have to happen. We can't keep trying to fight the stirrator for what little bit we gain from it. First year working on a farm, spent more time in a 4430 with a loader moving rye straw. Well, that's a good way to get your practice in as far as operating machinery, Dan. At 4430, I'm assuming with the loader it probably had a power shift, but still, you run that older equipment, you get your experience in. How's your cousin's farm since the tornado hit? Pretty much everything over there is new, other than the dairy barn. Hay sales were actually pretty slow early on. I've been selling for 5 weeks now, and the last 2 weeks, I've made twice as much as I've made the first 2 weeks, selling the same amount of hay. So maybe I got a little carried away starting earlier than I should have, but the stuff that I sold was stuff that was sitting outside, and I didn't want the weather to get it. If you guys would go with the leg or air system, I keep going back and forth the leg or an air system. Really don't know if I want to argue with the leg as far as having to deal with bearings and all that other stuff. The problem with an air system is getting all the setup for it and the room for it. I don't know. They both have their ups and downs, their pros and cons. Your straw got wet inside your shed. If it was wet when you put it in the shed, I would definitely be worried about a fire. If it got water on it while it was in the shed, I don't know if I'd be so worried about it heating or anything like that, but it's going to deteriorate if it's getting wet, if it's like the rain is dripping through the roof on it. Any plans on expanding acreage for 2021? Yes, I am. I'd like to pick up another 100 acres or so. Grow gradually, then growing all at once. So, I don't know, I prefer that. Where are we at here? Doo-doo-doo. Thanks, old timer. I'm not really sure what he was talking about. Thought I'd never move hay. As far as getting hay moved, that's where I actually just mentioned that a little bit ago. As far as the fact that I've had instances in the past where I've had hay sit up at the sales barn for 4 weeks and it didn't move. Where I was ready to go up and get it, where I literally called up to tell them I was coming to get it, and then they said that no, we sold that this morning. So I don't know. That's why I don't want to do a whole lot of hay. Ethan, how's it going? How's life as a dad going? I saw a few of the updates online. Family's doing good. I can't see the baby right now. As far as fixing the hay wagon, we just took up a local welding shop. They've $90 worth of steel, and they had it back going less than $100. So I don't know. Let's see here. Can somebody put him in a timeout? Old timer Dave, could you just go ahead and put him in a timeout, please? We only got about 11 more minutes in this live stream. Hour-long live streams, I think, is appropriate. 4430 quad range with an engine out of a 7700 combine. Why did they blow up the motor and the original motor out of it? Well, how's your kid sleeping at night, Ethan? She keeping you up all night? You got a girl, right? Pretty sure. Can you do a video on the farms and how they changed over the years? I know you said you had some pictures. I do have a picture. I have pictures, Andrew. That is a good question. I really if I get a chance to do it this winter, I will. The farm I help has a 4430 with a 460 engines. Wow, it's a powerhouse. You can make a lot of machinery, a lot of tractors powerhouses if you just, you know, turn the screw. Ooh, spun a bearing, the original engine. That's actually, what one? R4430, that, my grandma took the motor out of that one. I can't even remember what happened though. What would happen if the solar farm went in? What would it do to your land? Well, the biggest thing we're worried about, other than the fact it's going to look fucking hideous, is the fact that um, with all the solar panels right around our farm, we're worried about it creating a sort of a heat dome and affecting the weather around our farm, because there really hasn't been a whole lot of information, research done into that. So we're worried about what the weather will do after all those panels are put in, if it's gonna affect our home farm too much. Hopefully not, because that is a very good yielding farm. I didn't get rid of the wife's four-wheeler yet. Another thing I addressed in a video coming up. I don't understand why people want to fight to put in solar panels. I mean, go back to doing coal or nuclear energy as far as I'm concerned. Chewing up farm acres to put solar panels in is just a waste of time. It's a waste of perfectly good land. Solar farms only has major effect in the desert. I know, it's a great place for it. I don't know why they don't go to the Sahara and coat it. You know, it really wouldn't bother me too much. 8-minute countdown, guys. We're ending this in an hour because I gotta go shower and go bug the kid. So what's everybody else doing this winter? I mean, I'm probably not gonna be doing a heck of a whole lot other than existing and taking care of cattle and getting ready for next year. We already got our seed ordered. All of my dry fertilizer is down, and a lot of it is just taxes. Mowing snow in Tennessee, that sounds terrible. CF Motto four-wheelers, never heard of them. Any four-wheeler I buy is going to be a Honda. Honda Rincon is kind of what I was leaning towards, putting an aux beam on the front of it. Otherwise, they'll just be another Honda Foreman. We are, I just, you know, if you had asked me what we had for seed, NK, DeKalb, and what's the third one? There's 3 different corn varieties we're doing. I don't know. Trying to get used to the cold again after moving back to southwestern Indiana from Florida. Why would you move from Florida back to Indiana? Cost of living? It's Dairyland, but repackaged. Or in another bag, I think. Could you do a vid of the hay from the 2 different balers you use this year from the point of feed out? Might look good when you baled it, but would be nice to see how the weathered and feed out. I can tell you right now, our baler with the acid, the hay preservative applicator, did better. It kept better than the stuff that was done without the hay preservative. So I don't know if it's so much the balers part of the equation or if it's more of the hay preservative part of the equation, because I was not being lax or stingy on applying the hay preservative. I put on what it recommended to put on. So I'm not afraid to spend money to make money, or spend money to be able to sleep at night, not worry about my hay burning up overnight. Farm overtime. Would you ever try Brews? Never heard of it. what are my plans for soybeans? My plans are to raise 80 to 100 bushel soybeans next year. Between the seed that I chose, the fertilizer program that I will be doing, and the chemical program that I will be doing, I am aiming for 80 plus bushel beans. 80 plus bushel beans, hoping for $12 beans. Might be able to make some money. And I hate soybeans, so makes for quite the combination. Yep, my daughter is going to be 1 in just over a month. My day was good, moving equipment around because I have to, or moving gates around because I got to run cattle through the chute, starting to focus on that. So we went from worrying about field work. We still have to shake all the machinery around and do machine shed tic-tac-toe and get everything tucked away for some months, but I gotta get the cattle run through the chute also. So, New Zealand, Darren Kays. Hope the family's doing well. Awesome. One of the places I'd like to visit someday is New Zealand and Australia, so I hope you're doing well down there. Your little one is 4 months old now. That's awesome. Hope she's doing good. Hope she's growing slow or not too fast. Enjoy it while you can. Enjoy the fact that she stays where you put her while you can, because mine was standing by 3 months and she's getting around by 7 months. She isn't walking yet, but I do my darndest to push her over every time she tries to walk. Don't tell my wife about that. I have no intentions of ever doing bottle calves ever again. I was actually just asked the other day if I was interested in potentially buying some, and taking a sledgehammer to the hand sounds like the better route. How's the parts guy? Parts guy's doing great. He's tired of COVID. So he's definitely tired of COVID. Beans or hay this year? I'm actually going to be doing corn, beans, and hay. If I pick up any more ground, it's more than likely going to be corn. So it's not like I'm raising huge acres, but I'm being profitable on the acres I'm running. So I'm happy for that. I've Matt Hoffer. I do not know whatever that is. Corn silage for the beef cows in the future? Nope. If you go back to the original or start of this video, did I say that in the start of the video? As far as doing silage or TMR or anything else like that, I think the silos are pretty much going to be obsolete. The farther we get away from running them. I just talked to my uncle today about it. And the thing is, the blue harvesters, they are a lot of upkeep. Plus, we don't have any of the machinery to fill them ourselves. So you have to try to coordinate with a custom guy to do it, which could be kind of tedious. I've never done it, so I don't really want to find out either. But I am also finding out that doing the minimalistic approach when it comes to raising cattle. I'm trying to raise them as cheaply as I can without making them go backwards. So really putting them out on grass when the grass is green and supplementing them throughout the winter. I gotta be afraid to say that I don't see much point in doing the silos. Feed them some bales throughout the winter. It's not like we're going to be raising like huge numbers of cattle, maybe 100, 150. I mean, if I had 50 head of calves, it's probably going to be a lot for me. I really only intend on my cow herd, my calves, to never really be more than just like an equipment payment. The cattle exist solely to buy equipment for me. That's how I look at cattle. I really do. Between the crops and the hay, those are what are making my operation go round, and the cattle are what brings the equipment home. Plus the hay. The hay is actually marked for making equipment purchases also. Do we supplement with bags of mineral? Yes, we do. Hay, grass, and corn fodder is better than silage. I wouldn't say it's better than silage. I would not say that round-baled hay and corn fodder is going to be better than feeding corn silage or whatever silage. It's just what's going to work best for us. So, Plus, you got to remember then, we don't have thousands and thousands of dollars in upkeep on the silos because that chain and the harvester on the unloader. The last time Grandpa put one of those in brand new was $2,800 just for the chain, not for the work to put it in. No desire to wrap hay. Maybe to a certain degree if I know I'm going to be putting it aside for my cows, but I'd rather not. I mean, like I just said, it's more money down the drain. It is a New Holland 355 mixer mill. Will the harvesters be torn down and scrapped? Probably someday. I don't have any plans for it right now. Possible Red Bull purchase this year. Potentially. I'd like to keep focusing on the red cattle, but they might not be purebred red Angus. Just red cows. I'm content with even just red cows. I think they're pretty. Maybe not the most efficient outlook on life when it comes to what you're looking to buy for cattle, but if you enjoy going out and watching them graze and all that stuff, I prefer red cattle. I really do. I got that little tan heifer. I'm having a little bit of a dilemma as to whether or not I'm going to keep my heifers this year, or if I'm going to keep part of my heifers this year, or if I'm going to keep one or two of my heifers. Myrna, you guys are maybe aware of the only red heifer I had this year. The problem is her genetics looks like they're lacking. She's not growing. She's probably one of my older calves that I had this year, and she's actually one of the smallest. So not really something I want to make a herd out of or keep in a herd. Sounds kind of odd, but I have that tan heifer. She's built like a brick shit house. Looks really nice, grew really well. Haven't really worked with her too much, but seems mellow enough where I wouldn't mind keeping her and just using her as a calf producer, and just selling anything I get out of her. Because I did say that, I'll admit it, I did say that at one point throughout this year, that if it basically has 4 hooves and a heartbeat and can produce calves, I'll keep it. But to a certain degree, I'm not going to just keep any old heifer, especially if the genetics are showing in it that it's going to produce a small, poor, gaining calf.
Wow, honey, that was really sweet.
What?
I'm not just going to keep any old heifer.
What about you?
I'm just saying that was really sweet of you to say.
So what you're saying is you're worried that you're going to be replaced? See, now she goes quiet on me.
What?
So now you're saying that you're worried about being replaced?
No.
Well, you just said that I won't keep any old heifer.
Because I'm not an old heifer.
So you're just a heifer?
No, I'm a cow.
Yeah, she's a cow. You said it, not me. Better drop that one while I can, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. Oh, we're at an hour and 3 minutes. Right about where I want to be. Outlook on the way things are going, I'd say you have more videos coming. I'm actually going to be releasing a video tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Central. That's going to be, well, the next 4 videos, that's exactly what they're going to be, is me sitting and talking to you guys while I'm driving, because I don't have any voiceover videos. I don't have anything like that. It's just literally me sitting and talking to the camera about different topics or everything that's going on. If you guys don't like listening to those, I do encourage you to not tune in to the next 4 videos I post. So I'm just like, I didn't catch all of it, but I'm pretty much to the point where I'm gonna say what I want to say and say what I think needs to be said. So I really don't feel like tiptoeing around anything, because I got nothing to lose. See, Renee gets it. So you guys are watching. She wouldn't do that, Dan. Who's gonna pay the bills? Ha! Dan, or Minnesota, Oliver and Deer, if you're still on here, I really hope you're doing better than what it sounds like, and you continue to do better. Hey, old cow.
What?
What are you eating?
Bread.
What'd you make for supper? Bread? That's it?
Mm-hmm. That's all you get.
Hey, Dwayne. Hey, Jim, don't you ever be a stranger, all right? Actually, as a matter of fact, none of you be strangers. Oh, bread and water only for prisoners. I'm not a prisoner yet.
What do you mean yet?
You're trying. She thinks my bald head is sexy.
Men aren't supposed to have hair.
Yep, good news for me, because I'm going to be bald just like my grandpa someday. Hey, Brittany's the oldest cow on the farm. That's what this guy is saying. But she admits she's a cow, I'm just saying. Oh gosh, this video is really calmed down.
I'm just the best looking one you got.
The best looking one I got? I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, a lot of the better looking cows aren't covered in acne.
If we had purified air in our house, I wouldn't have it.
Oh, right. Anything to get that stinking air purifier device.
Yeah, you need to buy me about 4 more.
Nope. I don't think so.
Because I need one for our bedroom.
Why do you need one for the bedroom?
So I can breathe. Because I have allergies.
Well, then just sleep in the office.
Mm-mm.
Sleep in Calvin's dog bed. I'm sure he'd be willing to
That thing
share.
is so dirty.
So you guys got something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're just trailing off in nowhere. 237 people watching. Well, they must be watching earlier parts of the video. So, you guys are watching the rest of the story. Tune in to the upcoming videos that should be coming out. I got one is uploaded. The one is coming out tomorrow night, and I'll see about uploading the rest. So until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.